Hello, and welcome to this edition of EB5 Investment Report. I'm your host, Amy Rios, and today we are joined by Brian Wickstrom, UC Riverside's Athletic Director, who has been looking into the EB5 program as an alternative way to help finance the construction of an arena on UCR's campus. Welcome, Brian. Thank you for joining us today. Now, can you tell us about this proposed arena project? Is that just a rumor, or what can you tell us about this?
No, it's a project that our campus has needed for a long time, and the city of Riverside needs, because it'll help bring entertainment and acts to the community. It'll give us a place to play our home sports, and it's something that has started moving down the path. Right now we've completed the site feasibility. It's basically a basketball arena or a multi-purpose center, because it'll be volleyball and concerts and stuff, along with a parking structure across the street with about 1,100 cars that can park there as a way to really enhance the community and enhance our campus.
So is EB5 financing involved? Can you tell me about some of the ways you're going about to finance this project?
Well, we're looking at a lot of different ways to pay for it. As you know, in this economy, you got to be creative. You got to look outside the normal way of doing things. And I met somebody about last February, and I went over to Shanghai, China, and learned about the EB5 program, gave a few presentations, and got a lot of interest from investors. So from what I'm told, the project, roughly with the size, it's about an $80 million project, and from the type of project it is, it qualifies for about $30 million with the EB5 funding. So that's one of the pieces of our capital stack that we're using to fund the project. Looking at using to fund our project, philanthropically, we're looking at people to make donations, the operation of the project, the lead gift for the naming rights of the facility, and the parking structure revenue will all go into it. But EB5 is something we're looking at as being a pretty good piece of the project.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your trip to China and how you were exactly introduced to the EB5 program and why you decided to consider this as an alternative?
Well, I was introduced to the Hopkins Group through I guess a colleague of mine, and we started talking about funding of our sports arena, which we call the C Center, and they said they're going to go to Shanghai because they have a couple other EB5 projects that are currently happening. And so they asked if I'd be interested because they thought our project would fit in that mold. And so we went over there for a weekend seminar, basically got over there on a Thursday. We presented on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and got a lot of interest from it. But basically in Shanghai, and we talked to, I know on Sunday we had our big presentation. We had a full room of people that were interested in the project. And during the conference, people came up all day, looked at the pictures. The University of California and University of California Riverside are very well known in Shanghai, so automatically people are interested in the project because it's affiliated with the University of California. So it's a pretty natural transition. With our UCR extension, we have a program where students come over from China and go to class for a year that helps them get their education in place so that they can make the phase into being a student at UC Riverside. So it's a natural transition for us. So
do you have investors yet?
We don't, because the project hasn't been approved by our Board of Regents. Currently, right now we're creating an RFP that we're going to put out there, and it's going to be for third-party developers. It's basically going to be a public-private partnership, and we'll take proposals from developers on how much we'll tell them what specs of the project are and how much the project will be total, and they'll come back to us and say, okay, we propose to do this, we'll lease it back to you for this much for 30 years, we'll do this, we'll manage it this way. So we're just going to take all the different proposals. Once we get all the financial aspects of the project, then we'll put together our capital structure and how we'll fund it. And then once we have that put together, we take it to the Board of Regents for approval before it can be a live project. Once it's a live project, that's when we can look at actually signing up specific investors for the project, hopefully sometime in 2013 to get it to the Board of Regents.
Can you tell me a little bit about the job creation that the arena will create, the indirect jobs, the direct jobs, induced jobs? Because
our project, the specifics of the project aren't finalized yet, we don't know the exact makeup of the jobs. I just know from talking to a lot of people in the EB5 industry, we're counting on the 2-3 year jobs that will be created during the construction process. There'll be people that come on that are there part-time that will be working the events that will come into the calculation, but we don't have the exact breakdown of the jobs yet.
So what type of market study has been completed to address the project and the financial feasibility of it?
We had hired a consultant to come in who is very familiar with the concert industry and this entertainment industry, and she has experience at other arenas across the country. She talked to the Citizens Bank Arena in Ontario. She talked to a new arena in Kentucky. She talked to an arena in Stockton, as well as talking to AEG and Global Spectrum, people who know the entertainment industry, to put together just a good pro forma in terms of like what she estimates this project would generate on an annual basis for operations.
Now, where exactly on the UCR campus will the arena be located?
It's currently being looked at to go where the current Bannockburn location is. So it'll be right next to the Alumni Center. Right now there's some housing, some retail there that are pretty old, and so they're ready to update them or tear down anyway. And they've built some new housing on campus to take the place of that. And in addition, the parking structure, the plan is probably to have some retail on the ground floor to help with retail space, to maybe make the C Center a place where it can actually attract people to campus to eat, to drink before the events and after the events.
Now, do you have a proposed developer? We heard the Hopkins Group might be involved in this.
No, the Hopkins Group was the group that actually is the one that educated me and introduced me to EB5, but any type of a developer will have to go through the RFP process, so we have to put it out for bidding and select it that way because we're a public institution. So they're the ones that introduced me to EB5 and took me to Shanghai, China, but they're not the ones that have been selected because everybody has to go through the bid process.
How much equity from a developer is going to go into the project?
We don't know yet. That's what's going to come back to the proposal. I know the land, we own the land, so that's a piece of equity right there. The project we're estimating to be about $80 million, that's for the parking structure and the arena. So we don't really have any other details because they haven't received the proposals. We're hoping to get the RFP done by the end of the year to get the bids back.
Now, I heard that there was another arena project proposed possibly in the Coachella Valley. Will that impact your arena project?
I don't think it will, because it's, there's some people say the people from the Coachella Valley won't necessarily drive down to our area, but our arena is going to be 6,700 seats. It'll be more tailored towards this community, bringing entertainment to this community. It's not going to be a 12,000 seat arena that you're not going to be able to fill. It'll be one that's built more for this area. And there'll be some entertainment that would be coming here that would attract the Coachella Valley patrons, as opposed to driving all the way to Los Angeles, which they currently do. But right now there's not really we see it as more of a complement to what's going on with the Fox Theater, as opposed to looking for competition.
Do you see the competition in terms of the Citizens Arena Business Bank in Ontario and their arena?
I don't think so, because of the size of the arena, and AEG I think manages that facility, and AEG manages a lot of stuff in Los Angeles. So ours is a perfect target market with 3,500 students living in the dorms right by it and 3,500 students living off campus, as well as the whole Riverside community looking for entertainment. I think ours is probably complements what Citizens Bank can attract.
Are you going to be affiliated with any regional center? Are you going to go, do you know if you're going to go through the regional center pilot program route, or if you're going to go the E2 route?
We haven't made that decision. It's all based upon what we get back and what we do with our capital structure in terms of how much we're going to fundraise for, how much we're going to use from operations, and how much we'll need to use for EB5. So we haven't really put together that step yet. We're not quite there yet.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Brian. UCR is located in the city of Riverside in Southern California. The university is currently experiencing a growth spurt with newly remodeled facilities and an enrollment of 20,000. A new sports arena would not only impact the university itself, but all the surrounding regions, creating jobs and providing entertainment. I'm your host, Amy Rios, and I want to thank you for joining us on this edition of EB5 Investment Report.